Out to the Aussies who are playing a critical role in saving endangered elephants in Africa. They're the last of the great tuskers, majestic animals whose tusks weigh more than 50 kilograms each. But staggeringly, there are just 25 of them left, roaming national parks in eastern southern Africa. And Simon is with us. Simon, you're just back from visiting and you've seen the strong connection that Aussies have in trying to save them.
Indeed, Baz. The wonderful small charity we're talking about is called the Askari Project. They're based in Dubbo in New South Wales, which is a long, long way from the savannas of Kenya.
Elephants, they have emotions. It's been documented. They're wonderful creatures, and I think we can all learn so much from them. We're not worthy of elephants.
Kenya's Tsavo National Park, the same size as Switzerland and a last stronghold for elephants in East Africa. A place of indescribable beauty and wrenching heartbreak.
Well, the Askari Project came about primarily because of the poaching of Tsavo, a very iconic elephant here in Tsavo. He was killed in mid-2014. I needed to do something personally.
Had tusks out of that.
So Brad Johnston was joined by longtime friend and wildlife photographer Bobby Joe Vile. A shared passion for Africa and elephants had a focus, the remaining big tuskers.
Tuskers obviously have a very unfortunate and sad history throughout Africa. They have obviously been the ones that have been targeted through poaching and through hunting in the past.
Booming Asian economies spiked huge demand for ivory over the last 15 years. China's decision to ban the trade had a dramatic negative impact on the price, but criminal syndicates, poverty and population pressure remain a lethal combination for elephants.
Time's running out. We need to do something, and I would very much suggest supporting grassroots projects that don't have huge costs.
The Askari Project supports the amazing Tsavo Trust. At its headquarters on the park boundary, there are haunting moulds and models of the much-loved fallen giants. This fellow, WS1, has survived 2 poison arrow attacks to march on, now with a radio collar to track his movements. We're off to find him with a monitoring team of Charlo, Christine and Katana.
Charlo and Christine are young local Kenyans who have a real passion for wildlife, and that is in itself incredibly heartening.
Christine Imwende's parents had no money to send her on school trips to national parks. She put herself through uni, studying wildlife management.
The rest of the pupils used to go for the field trips, then they will come back during the opening day and tell you, I saw a lion, I saw an elephant, and all time you have never seen an elephant moving. You just see them in the pictures.
The Tsavo Trust monitoring and anti-poaching teams work closely with the Kenya Wildlife Service in finding and protecting wildlife. Their combined efforts saved WS1's life.
And thankfully, through the aerial patrols, those injuries were noticed very quickly. It's under a tree.
We find WS1 eventually, dodging camel, cattle and goat herds on the way. Some legal, some not so.
Today we really have seen all sides of this really fragile relationship between people and these creatures and all the difficulties that go with it. Seeing this herd with WS1 right in the middle there with those magnificent tusks backed up against a tiny tree in this arid, dry scrubland almost seems like an apt visual metaphor for the plight of these elephants.
If we don't have communities involved in conservation, you're not going to see wildlife. They're not going to be worth anything. You need to involve local communities.
Moffat oversees the Tsavo Trust community projects, including the clinic, built through the protection of elephants. When elephants are worth more alive than dead, it means medicine and clean water from bores.
And it has also reduced human-wildlife conflict, whereby most community members are now getting water from here instead of fetching it from the park.
If there's a critter elephants hate, it's bees. Farmers like Matuka have their crops protected from elephants by the incredible beehive program. The future does have blue sky. The team has classified 25 emerging tuskers, the sons of giants.
The emerging tuskers are elephant bulls, which are young, but with massive ivory that we think after 5 or 10 years, given the chance, they'll be the next super tuskers of Tsavo.
We could almost double the tusker count in Africa just in this one very special location.
And we can't forget the girls. The highlight of the safari for me was this magnificent matriarch one of 5 females under special watch.
So this one, I will say, is between 50 and 55 years old.
Her tusks are most likely the largest of any female elephant in Africa.
They are the storers of knowledge. They have been here in this area, which is a very tough area to live. There's a very dry, arid region. They have lived through dramatic changes in their landscape. They've lived through the poaching, and to have survived through that and to survive the droughts is a tremendous achievement. It just shows you what special individuals they are.
Oh, Simon, what a spectacular but such an important story. And again, terrific to see Australians so dedicated to making a huge difference.
Absolutely, Baz. They do a wonderful job. We'll put our details, of course, up of the Askari Project on our Facebook page. But Africa has lost 90% of its elephants in the last century, basically. Around about 400,000 left. So we have to do all we can. But I think the message I'd like to, get out after this story is that it's not all doom and gloom. We can act, and they have got these emerging tuskers, and if we can get them up to speed and keep them alive, that's very important. So the Askari Project, well done to Brad and Bobby Joe.
Job well done,
Fascinating about
Simon.
the bees too. I loved it, Simon. Of course, shot and edited by Simon as well. So amazing pictures there.
And Simon's
Super talented Simon.
Simon's beard was real.
Also
that was real.
grown by
Put that
Simon
on
Reed.
for effect.
Yeah.
Great job, mate. Labour of love as always.